You're listening to Leisure World Direct. I'm your host, GRF Communications Manager Emma DiMaggio, and I'm here with Interim Executive Director Dave Potter and Facilities Director Mark Weaver. Hello.
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 Today's topic is contractors and vetting. Mark, what kind of work has to be done by a vetted contractor?
So any modification done to the apartment has to have a licensed contractor, licensed vetted contractor.
Can you give me some examples?
Sure. From something as simple as putting in a ceiling fan to something more extreme as doing a full remodel to an apartment. Contractors need to be licensed and insured and vetted through the physical properties department.
So to clarify, this means that they have to be on the physical properties list. You can't go out onto the yellow pages and select someone to do your work.
Well, you can go out and get any contractor you like. However, they have to go through the physical properties department and the process for the contractor to supply all the documents that we require.
So it's not designed to say you must use only these three vendors to do a task.
That's correct.
You can go out and find a fourth vendor or a fifth vendor. That new vendor, though, just has to hit the minimum standards.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't limit the residents or members to just solely use our vetted contractor list. They can bring their contractor in. They need to meet our requirements.
What's the purpose of vetting contractors before they do work in Leisure World?
Well, we want to make sure that they're licensed and properly insured to limit risk to the community.
It's because these are attached homes, one, and also because they're apartments that are owned by the mutuals by and large. So if you're doing work, the risk of doing the work is not just absorbed by the resident of the unit, right?
Correct.
You're potentially putting at risk property that's owned by the mutual or your neighbor's house as well.
There's other people involved, like you just said, the mutual and your neighbor.
Can you give me an example of a kind of project that might impact your neighbor if it was done by the wrong person?
Sure. The most obvious is the full remodel. You want to make sure that all the electrical's done properly. They're not going to have any faults after the project has been completed. They're tying into the roofing. You don't want any water in your living room next door. As far as the plumbing, same thing. You don't want a water line to be bursting in the middle of the night and.
Or any time, really.
Exactly, yeah. Worst time's the middle of the night.
I know.
But yeah, you just want to make sure that the work is properly done by a contractor that knows what they're doing, and the process that we have here vets them and makes sure that that's accurate.
What does that process look like for someone outside the community who's not vetted yet to see Leisure World, want to do work here, and get signed up?
Right. So they need to bring in documents that show that they're a licensed contractor, that they have the proper liability insurance, they have completed ongoing operations, they have workers' comp with subrogation included, and proper automobile insurance for commercial vehicles.
Do we require commercial grade level insurance for contractors here? Or?
We do.
Okay, because that's a differential between folks that may work in the residential sector on single-family homes outside the walls, because the insurance rates are much less if you're just doing residential work in a detached single-family home than the commercial level of insurance that we require. And unfortunately, that is one reason why hiring contractors might be more expensive here, because if you just have that residential insurance, you're never going to pass the vetting process.
Good point. Yeah, that's exactly why. There's other items in there like the completed and ongoing operations. It covers the project after the contractor is signed off and completed. That insurance is still available. For example, if a contractor puts up a ceiling fan, it all looks good, works fine, we sign it off. A couple of weeks goes by, the ceiling fan falls down, hits somebody in the head, that insurance covers that.
So if you have someone random come in and install the ceiling fan and it falls on someone,
when they're done, there's no insurance.
yeah, you're left in the lurch.
Now there's exposure to shareholder, that owns that unit. There's exposure to the mutual, and there's exposure to the Golden Rain Foundation.
So that insurance reduces liability for everyone.
Yes, it
and
does.
increases safety.
Yes.
Good point. Yeah, and these insurance requirements that we are asked to get from the contractors, they are policy of the Golden Rain Foundation, which was recommended through our insurance companies.
Take me through the process. Let's say I want to have my bathroom redone.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I start? Where do I look for someone to do that work?
So, like we said, you can bring in your own person. They just have to go through the proper vetting process. But it all starts with the physical properties department. So anyone that wants to do any modification to their apartment, best place to start is physical properties, and we can get them started on the right track.
There's a list, correct, of contractors they can use?
There is. That's the current list of vetted contractors. So that changes from month to month. Some contractors come in, they only want to do one job, and they don't resend us their updated information. So they'll fall off that list. But we can give them a list that has the current approved contractors.
Where can they pick up that list?
Physical Properties Department, upstairs, building C.
Okay. Right across from the gym, for those who don't know.
Correct.
Do people have to get approval from their mutuals to start work in their unit?
They do. Yeah, that's part of the application and the permit process. So basically what happens is the contractor will provide us with a contract with the resident, and that starts the approval process. Building inspector will take a look at that, go over the modifications that they're requesting, make sure it meets mutual policy, because as everyone knows, all mutual policies are different. And if it meets the policies, then we'll go ahead and approve it, getting also signature from the mutual representative or board, whichever their policy directs. And then once that's approved, it will get back to the resident and the contractor.
I'm sure that's the reason why it's best to start at the physical property department. There's probably a multitude of different processes for the different kinds of work.
There is. So yeah, it's the best place to start.
Is there anything else that you think is important for people to understand about contractors and the fact that they're pre-vetted and using them?
It's just like we said, we're not mandating that you use a specific type or contractor, but we do require that they be vetted through the physical properties department before they can start any work at all.
Because that's for everybody's protection to go through that vetting.
Yeah.
And by the same token, if you're looking there and you're looking at a list of 3 contractors, you should still do your homework as a customer and an end user, right? And meet and talk with people, find the one that you think is the right fit for you.
Yeah, get multiple bids. Never just rely on a single person, especially if they call you. If they're calling you, that's just a high volume attack that some contractors will use to try and get you to do work. So be cautious of that as well.
You've been listening to Leisure World Direct.